Hey guys, welcome back to my survival series. It's me, Ryasune, and today I'm actually kind of feeling a little dizzy because I ran out of iron, so hopefully I'll be able to record fine. Also, please ignore the weird Z fighting. The poorly named female Desert mod doesn't really seem to play nicely with the Better Animations texture pack, so I'm hoping that an update will fix that, but for now it's just kind of like that. Anyways, I want to start off by actually heading to the Tier 3 Shrine by spawn and trying to take on one of the Ominous Trials. So I'll put my armor on and we'll head on over there. Between episodes, I just added this nice little mud brick pathway heading into the village to just add a little bit more progress to the main road. I don't have any of the ominous potions back at the village, so before I head into the shrine, I will be stopping at my starter base just to grab one. I don't actually know what the difference between each level of ominous potion is, to be honest, so I guess I'll just grab an ominous one. I really have no idea what the different levels do, so if somebody could let me know, that would actually be really great. I'm hoping that we get an ominous key so that I can unlock the ominous vaults in the tier 5 vault from episode 4, I think. But if not, that's fine as well. I'm also hoping that I don't end up getting myself killed here, because I'm hoping to get some XP, because the Wandering Trader that was selling the brick? The Wandering Trader that was selling the glowstone actually had a Fortune 2 iron pickaxe. So I'm hoping that I can combine that with my existing Fortune 2 pickaxe to get a Fortune 3 pickaxe. So I have a sneaking suspicion that this one tier 3 shrine will be nowhere near enough to get me enough XP to make that enchantment. Ow. More chances for the ominous key. We should probably heal. That's probably a good idea. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh gosh. Why are there so many guys? Aha. No more diamond armor though. Yes, nice. Oh, and we got an ominous key! Cool. Let's see if we get an ominous key from the other way. Ah, darn. That's okay, though. We can always run this again. We'll drop this ominous key off back at the starter base where I'm keeping other keys, and we can start working on today's build. I guess I might as well leave the speed potion that I got in here with my other potion. And I believe the trial omen does not affect villagers, so I'm pretty sure we're safe to head back to the village. It's so nice to be able to just ride right across that bridge instead of having to go down to the little makeshift path in the water every time. I'm thinking that today's build, which will be the Adventurers Guild, will be located where this ruin is here, so I'll just get to work on tearing it down, and then we can start building the new building. The Adventurers Guild is another one of those buildings that I really have very little idea of how I want to construct it, but I know the three main components of the building that I want to have are, one, a nice big hall with a big fireplace and a table and chairs, and then I also want to have like a little library area for the Adventurers Guild bookkeeping, and then finally I would like to have a tower on the side of the building to house the cartographer. I'm thinking we can do an L-shaped building, not too dissimilar from the ruins that were here originally, but I'm pretty sure it's not going to be an L shape in the same direction. I'm thinking maybe we can have it going this way, and then the tower could be about here somewhere, but I'm not sure if that'll be super interesting having the tower on the backside instead of visible on the front, so I'll definitely have to think about that. Though for the shape of this little area here, I think it probably definitely would make the most sense to have the L going in this direction with the tower on the backside so we can make the most of this little corner here. I also know that another key feature of the Adventurers Guild building is that I want the inside to be pretty messy with like a bunch of various items that, you know, you might find on an adventure. So I've been collecting things like ominous banners. I got an eye blossom from a wandering trader, and I also want to include decorated pots too, since I've got a lot of different pottery shards that we can work with. I do like the location of this road here, however I want to make it kind of like be just a little bit more curvy around this bend, and I'll definitely be converting it to mud at some later date. But I'm thinking that we can maybe space this back by about 2 blocks or so, maybe even 3, because I'm not entirely sure yet how I want to do the entrance. I know that I wanted to have a little bit of this stone foundation, sort of like how the forge building does, but I definitely don't want it to be as tall as it is on the back side, but on the front side it's also too short for how I want to design this building, so we'll have to figure out what's gonna happen here. For the main hall of this build, the room is definitely going to have to be at least 9 blocks wide to accommodate the big table and chairs and the fireplace. So we'll have to definitely keep that in account as we lay the foundations of the structure. I've made a little outline of 9 blocks going in each direction, and it looks like they're about equally distant from the wall outline here. So I'm thinking that maybe we can have the entrance on this side of the build, and then we can shift this over by 1 more block, and then we can have the main hall going this way. Though I am also remembering that I want to have the foundation slightly indented from the wooden portion of the build, sort of like how we've done on the forge building. So that means the foundation will only have to be 7 blocks wide. That said though, it still might be a good idea just to bring this wall back a little bit further just to afford us a little bit more space for this area. We can take some of the cobble that we got from taking down the old structure, and we can just move this diagonal bit a little bit farther to the east. And now we have a little bit more wiggle room to work with the structure here. I'm also going to take this weirdly shaped piece of dirt here out, because I think it's disrupting the terrain in this area just a little bit too much for our purposes. I'm just realizing that I did my math wrong, and the main hall of the build actually only has to be 7 blocks wide, because the big table in the middle is only going to be 3 blocks wide, and then the addition of the chairs is going to be 2 more blocks wide. So that's 5 blocks wide, and then we only really need like the 1 block on each side of the table of space to walk, so we definitely don't need it to be 9 blocks wide. I'm also realizing that if the wooden part of the structure juts out 1 block from the foundation, then the foundation line will have to be on this block anyways. So I'll just rip this back up and put it back as dirt so that we don't have the path blocks where there won't be anything on top of. We can then smoothen this part down here, take away some more of these path blocks, and then we can start to shape the other segment of the build. Perhaps we can also recess the library segment back by 1 block just to add a little bit more depth to the structure. 7 blocks I'm thinking it's probably long enough, and then we can just make it 5 blocks wide. And finally, we can put in our tower here. I'm also just going to clean up this area here just a little bit so that we don't have the exposed foundation sitting there. We'll also do the base of the foundation the same way we did the base of the foundation for the forge building. So we'll just grab some of these bricks and raw stone, and we'll start putting it together. I'm actually thinking that maybe we can bring this side back just by 2 blocks so that we just have a little bit of extra space for the guild hall portion of the building. Now that we've got the stone brick portion of the building, we can transition to our cobblestone. We'll grab a stack of tuff and a stack of andesite, and then we can grab a stack of mossy cobble and a stack of regular cobble. I'm also thinking for this tower here, we can make it all out of this pallet here instead of wood, just to give a little bit of contrast to this part of the structure. I don't want this stone part of the foundation to be too tall, so I'm thinking that maybe we can start the wood just above this line here. I'm thinking that we can have the entrance to the building on this side, similar to the entrance to the storage area of the forge building. So I will grab some more stone brick blocks and we can shape that up. For ease of access, we can have the stairway be on this side, so we can just start this over here. Not entirely certain how this entryway is gonna work out, but I guess here's to hoping that it will. While we're here, it might also make sense to mark out the main chimney on this side. And now we can come back here and fill these last pieces of the wall in. If we're gonna build this tower on this side out of the cobblestone palette, we might as well continue it upwards while we still have these blocks in our inventory. I'll clear this birch tree out so we have more space, and we'll keep extending the tower upwards. Since we're running low on these materials, I'll leave the tower as is for now, and we can start working on the wooden walls of the build. We can start with our stairs and slabs here. And then we can work in our stripped logs. And now that we've got our logs in, we can put the planks in. I did check the forge building for consistency and remembered that first I want to put these strips beams going up on the larger segments before filling the structure in with planks. Not gonna lie, I confused myself and I thought that I was going to have the stairs coming off this way and this way on the library segment, but then that would sort of conflict with this part here, so I think we'll just have to make a little bit more of a compact library in here if we can. I'm thinking that on this side, perhaps we could do a little bit of a larger window just to let more light into this room, and then this side back here, it'll be covered up mostly by the chimney, which I'm realizing needs to be extended by another block. I left the back here woodless because I want this area to be a 3-wide fireplace, just to give a little bit more of a grand feeling to the guild hall here. So I won't be putting in the wood until I get the chimney finished, which reminds me that I should probably get these bricks back so I can push it out one more block and get the shape going. So I'll tear out this stripped wood and we can grab these blocks and we'll work on installing it. I'm wondering if the chimney itself here shouldn't be 5 blocks wide. Perhaps we can get away with just having the stone on the inside so it doesn't look quite so big on the outside. So maybe I can grab the slabs, break these blocks here, and we'll see how that looks, and hopefully it'll work out nicely. I'm definitely thinking that this is much better scale from the outside of the chimney. So hopefully this won't be too funky, having it be bigger on the inside than it is on the outside. But about this height here internally is probably where we can start to slope the fireplace in, maybe even 1 block lower. But we can keep working on this part of the chimney and we'll leave the fireplace till later once we actually have the interior going. I also just remembered that in the forge building, I didn't put any of the mossy bricks or mossy cobble around the forge itself because I felt that looked a little odd around somewhere that would have fire and be hot, so I just remembered that I should probably also do that here for consistency's sake. So since the outside of the chimney won't be exposed to the fire and heat, it probably makes sense to have the moss here. Maybe we do want it wider at the bottom. That's something I'll have to think about. But for now, I think I'll put the stone bricks away and we can work on getting the windows in. In all honesty, I'm not entirely sure how I want to do this big window here. Maybe we'll make it 3 by 3 and then we'll have some sort of little roof thing over it. Hey, we've got just enough white glass pane. I'm hoping that I'll have enough oak wood for the floor of this building, but I'm not sure. I'll just grab half of this for now, and we'll see how far that gets us. Okay, the oak wood was definitely way more than enough, so that's good. I'm thinking that I might honestly grab some gravel to put underneath this oak wood, because I just don't really like having empty spaces underneath things for, I don't know, whatever reason. So I'm gonna go grab the gravel and we'll fill that in so we don't have to worry about it anymore. I'll also grab the oxidized copper door so we can put it into the entryway. And now we have all the flooring in the main parts of the building. This wandering trader just spawned here, and I've seen a pale garden, but it was really tiny and I don't remember where it was. But I would love to incorporate a pale oak sapling into the Adventurers Guild, so I'll buy as many of them as I can and we'll grow some of those trees. Excuse me, sir. I'd like to purchase your saplings, please. Nice. We got 5. I'm thinking maybe we can buy just one more, just in case, because I do want to grow the tree itself as well. Oh, I counted wrong. Now that we've got all the wooden exterior bits in, I think we can start to get a roof line going. I made sure to get plenty of stone materials for the build, but I didn't actually remember to gather any more of the deep slate, so hopefully we'll have at least enough to get started. Okay, just doing the outline took more than half a stack of our deep slate brick stairs, so we're definitely gonna have to go grab some more deep slate before we can continue much on the roof here. I made myself a few more iron pickaxes, and I'll drop off these pale oak saplings into this minecart here on the way down to the mine, and then we'll go grab some deep slate. Deep slate is definitely a material that I'd wished I'd grabbed off camera. I have a lot of spare diamonds, so perhaps I should have made a diamond pickaxe for this task, but oh well. After breaking an iron pickaxe, we did get over 3.5 stacks, so I think that's probably good for now. So I'll head back up to the surface and we can continue working on the roof line. I now realize that I made way too many stairs for this project, but that's definitely not a bad thing, because that means we'll just have more stairs for future buildings. Due to the scale of this project, I definitely won't be finishing it all in one recording, so I'll keep working on the build and we'll come back to see the finished project, just like we did with the forge building. Behold, a completely different building than what I was building during the recording, because I can't count past 5, apparently. So, anyways, let's take a look. I've placed these sweetberry bushes strategically so things like villagers can't walk into them and die. And I've got this fence gate on here just for now until we get the walls up so the villagers can't wander away and get attacked by zombies and whatnot. But here's the entrance room where I've got an armor set that's supposed to be like what you see in the ominous trials in the trial chambers and shrines. And up here we've got our big table that I was attempting to do and failing at in the first part of the episode. I have this wall of banners here, which I'm hoping I can put the Stray banner on this one, and then the End City banner on this one, but since I haven't been to either of those structures, I only have the Pillager banner, so we'll definitely have to add to those in the future. Also, a bunch of cats have been spawning in this village here, so I've tamed 4 of them, I think. So this one here is amethyst because I gave it a purple color. Over here we've got our various decorated pots from the trial chamber, and in here I want to put some armors with some of the rarer armor trims. Going all the way up the stairs to the very top here, we have the room for the cartographer, which the librarian has commandeered, it seems. He'll get his own building later, but if we come down to this level here, we have our library, which took so many books. This building has 211 books in total, which took me so long to do. This bed is temporary, so it's definitely not going to stay there. Also, I had to put this fence up here because the cartographer kept on wandering back there and getting stuck. So that's kind of annoying. But yeah, lots of books. I've also moved all my storage into this attic here, which is only a temporary solution, but it's much better than just having it all scattered out in the courtyard of the village off to that direction. So once I get a more permanent location for my item storage, I'll be moving all this stuff out of here and just making it more of like a decorative storage area. Like I did with the forge building over there, I've added a lot of leaves and stuff to the roof. And around here to the back is the tower, which I'm very happy with how the design turned out. It took me like hours to get the design right, so I'm glad that I found a way to make it look how I wanted to. So I'm very happy with that. And also, here's the chimney that I was messing with a bunch. And I've even got some pale hanging moss going along here. I think my favorite decorative part on this build on the outside though is all this pale garden foliage, just like creeping around the cartographer tower. I don't really have a lore explanation for why it's here, but I thought it'd be fun to put the eye blossoms that we've been buying into this little nook here in the roof. Now that we've seen the outside and the inside of the building, I would like to head to that shrine tower that we saw in the last episode over to the east in that direction. So I will get the shrine keys, the normal and ominous variants, because I actually don't know what type of vault they have, if they even have a vault. But I'll go grab those from my starter house, and we'll head out there. I feel like there's probably not a whole lot of reason to show off the process of me getting there, since, you know, I already showed that all off in episode 5, but I will catch up back with you guys once we get there. And there it is. Not gonna lie, I had a little bit of trouble actually finding this place because while I had marked the coordinates of the jungle temple itself, when I found this place, I didn't because it was so close by. I figured I wouldn't have any trouble, but apparently that's not the case. I brought 2 of each kind of shrine key because I don't know what vault is going to be at the top or if there's going to be more than one. I got a few additional ominous shrine keys after running the tier 3 shrine a few more times off camera in the hopes that I'd get enough ominous keys to unlock all the ominous vaults in the tier 5 shrine by that tavern. Huh. Okay. This is definitely not what I was expecting up here. Not an ominous vault, so I guess we get to keep one of our ominous keys. And I'll just open it up. Oh, okay, so interesting. A tier 1 shrine location. I wonder how far away that is. I wonder what the tier 1 shrine even has. It's probably just a singular combat room, like the first room of the shrines we've been to. But there are multiple shrine types, so there's a good possibility that it's not the zombie one that we've already seen multiple times. Now that we've gotten the loot from the shrine tower, I think that just concludes the episode. Thank you guys all so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!